Morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday. Hope you're doing great. This is your message, probably. If you're here, if you're drawn here by the title, I don't know what the title is yet. So if you're drawn here by the title, this is your message. Let's see where we go. Okay. This week we have a full moon in Aries, which is a big deal, but not as big of a deal as our equinox, our eclipse happening in October, which I will get into this week. I'll be posting the October readings. I'll also be breaking a little bit of news about our the spiritual business accelerator that we're creating. Those of you who want to step into your own spiritual business or behave in a spiritual way with your work, whatever it is, I'm going to be starting a coaching accelerator. So if you want to be part of that, we'll be talking more about that. You'll see that in the newsletter for October. So if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, you're going to want to do that. That's on the website, soulfulrevolutiontv.com. Go on over and check that out and get on the newsletter, because I do break a bunch of news in there, and I also give tools that you don't see on YouTube. Okay. All right. Let's see where we're going here. This is Here and Now. Buy the book and clean it up. Okay. All right. So this is the Wisdom of the Oracle, by the way. If you like that deck, I do love this deck. I've used it since the beginning of the channel. And, I just get this sense of like this is almost Virgo energy, but we are in Libra time and there's a lot of striving for balance and wanting to be grounded, wanting to be stable, wanting to be solid. And I just feel like some of you are really stepping up your game in terms of being present in the moment. Congratulations. That's a really good thing to do. There are going to be some things that are going to show up that you're like, oh, okay, that's something that's blocking what I want to go toward or what I want to attract in my life. So I'm going to move it out of my life, or I'm going to move away from this group of people. I'm going to move away from this job, whatever it is. This feels very gentle to me, which I very much like. Full moon in Aries is about, am I being true to myself? Like the full moon shining a bright light on things. Am I being true to myself? Am I doing the things that I feel good about? Even if they're hard to do, am I doing that? Am I kind of just, not allowing myself to, make waves or do anything that's, a little out of the comfort zone. The full moon in Aries, I feel like, is pushing us to do things that are for our best and highest good. And especially as it relates to, hey, you're here to fulfill a mission and a purpose, right? If you don't know what your mission and purpose is, I do all kinds of work around that in my groups, especially Pathfinders. If you're not a part of Pathfinders and you want to figure out your mission and purpose, I would highly recommend jumping into that tribe, because we do work really well together. Every week there's a live, and I answer questions, I pull cards, I do all kinds of stuff in those lives. So if you want to jump into Pathfinders, this is a great time to do it. All right. So, and find out your mission and purpose and help yourself get there. All right, let's see where we're going here. Knight of Wands underneath, the Lover's card. I want to put this whole reading out before I start talking about it. 3 of Wands, I'm just having that little bit of intuition right now. 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and then there's this 8 of Wands, this fresh new energy, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. All right, beautiful energy there of 10 of Pentacles. Page of Wands, like I said, I'm going to lay this whole thing out. Hierophant, 3 of Pentacles, Tower, Knight of Cups, Empress, King of Swords, Ace of Cups, 7 of Swords. All right. So some of you have definitely broken through a pattern recently. Some of you are now being, I've been talking a lot about the divine feminine energy of allowing, of receiving, being able to receive. If you're very much in this energy of getting grounded and being present in the moment and having a lot of gratitude, I feel like you're going to see a lot of things and be aware of a lot of things that you might have been doing to yourself that really are keeping you from where you want to go. So clean it up is pretty loud. Okay, clean it up is pretty loud. And you might not have noticed these things if you've been rushing through your life, if you've been doing lots of things, multitasking and doing lots of things all at once. I feel like when you choose to slow down, when you choose to receive guidance, which you are getting, um, I do feel like this nine and 10 of swords, this tower, is going to show you very clearly, King of Swords, very clearly what you want to remove from your life, whether it's a person or it's a way of being, it's a methodology, it's a control mechanism, it's a coping mechanism that no longer works. Okay. And it's going to be obvious that it no longer works. So if you're somebody who's really good at diplomacy, I mean, we are in Libra time period, and if you're really good at diplomacy, maybe that's keeping you from speaking your truth. That For Whoever yesterday I did was really all about that. And I also feel like some of you are worried about something that is never going to happen. You're wasting time. Worry is not very useful. It makes us feel like we're doing something when we're scared about something, but what would be a lot better is if you just faced the fear. Just faced it head on. And I think some of you are doing that. The Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. I think you'll also be handsomely rewarded for doing this. Some of you have been thinking a thing. This could be in a relationship, actually, that you're thinking that it's going to be a certain way, and you're worried that it's not going to be a certain way. And it's just like all of this mental energy being expended before you really know the truth. Once you know the truth, you can take some action on it. But this is like, for the control freaks among us, I'm going to raise my hand here. That middle time, or that little gap between an old chapter and a new chapter, the gap between when I meet somebody and it becomes a more stable situation. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. All things are possible. Schrodinger's cat, right? All things are possible. Schrodinger's cat, made famous by Schrodinger, but also but to us lay people who are not physicists, to our mathematicians, to Big Bang, when they were talking about Schrodinger's cat all the time. Schrodinger's cat is an experiment, terrible experiment. They put a cyanide tube and a cat in a box, and they don't know whether the cat is living or dead, because they don't know what's going on in there. So at the same time, the cat can be living and can be it's a terrible experiment, can be dead because of the cyanide, but we just don't know. So both of those possibilities are equal. And I think that's what's going on here. It's like when we start down a new road, everything is possible, but sometimes that makes us feel tension. Some of us who want to know, okay? I definitely had friends who, whenever they started relationships, they became the old married couple, like, immediately, because they didn't like that feeling of tension around, maybe it's not having, they feel like they're out of control in terms of what the relationship is going to be, and they want to stay in control of it. Or they're starting some kind of new business and they want it to be already an established business, and that tension, that time between when something starts and when it becomes established, is what's going on here. I'm seeing that with the Taurus energy here, Taurus and Libra here with the Empress, the Three of Pentacles. Maybe there's a new business in the offing, a new opportunity here. I feel like you're getting some advice, the Page of Wands and the Hierophant, about how to proceed with something. And it's, maybe it's very traditional way of doing things, and you're like, I don't know, I think it needs to be a little more innovative. And maybe that's what the Tower is. You're coming in with some new ideas. The Eight of Wands says, I'm not going to listen to my own worry about things. I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I'm going to, become more powerful in my own life instead of letting things happen to me. I'm going to, even if it's a situation that, like, other people have choices too. Like, just because you say, I want this to happen, doesn't mean the other person does. So that's where that feeling of like, eesh, comes in. But I like this Page of Pentacles and this Knight of Pentacles. You're learning to do things that are in your own best interest, and not hurt other people, right? Like sometimes you can do something that you consider to be in your own best interest and it does hurt other people. And very much so, right? But in Libra time, I feel like this energy, this action of being honest, of being upfront, and of doing the work, putting your money where your mouth is going to work. Instead of just worrying and fretting over it and allowing, or yeah, allowing yourself to kind of be buffeted around by the winds of fate. I almost feel like you're stepping in, you're leaning in to being more active. You still are not in control of everything that's going on, but you're moving forward, you're doing an action. Sometimes I feel like we don't think we can take any action, and that's what brings worry. Okay, that's what brings a lot of worry for a lot of us, especially those of us who have a lot of air sign energy, Libra and Aquarius here. So I do feel like you kind of lean into this, or I feel like you're being asked to lean into um, uh, taking steps in the present moment and whisking away so much overactive mind energy. It's not helping you right now. Use the Libra energy as balance. And I almost feel like you don't see this coming. You don't see some opportunity for commitment for yourself, whether it's a person, like a long-term commitment. I almost feel like some of you have a long-term life partner coming in and you just don't see it coming. The reason that person comes in, this is very healthy love partnership. The reason it comes in is because you've decided to stop being so much up in your head, and you've actively anchored yourself. Maybe this Virgo time period had really inspired you to put one foot in front of the other. Maybe it's the North Node in Aries that says, I need to be the captain of my own ship. And yeah, are there going to be storms on the ocean? You bet. Are there big old whales and animals in there, mammals and fish and all kinds of stuff that are like, wow, sharks and things? Yeah. But sitting here worrying isn't getting me anywhere. Okay, it's not getting me anywhere. So there's I'm going to clarify this, a sudden change because you have done that. All right, so I'm going to clarify the clean it up piece. Six of Swords, right? Moving on from these old constructs, these old way of doing things. Eight of Wands, new ideas coming in. Beautiful. There's Libra, justice, balance. That's key. Wheel of Fortune, a new chapter coming in. Page of Cups, beautiful. Very beautiful energy. Some of you have a love partner coming in. Some of you have dealt with people in the past that were third parties, out of your control. Everything's out of my control. And in the same vein, it could have made you feel like you're safe. That is an oxymoron, like a backflip that is true of third party situations, especially, well, I got Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Empress, especially when you're the one that's not in a commitment. You're the one who's on the outside of it. It's keeping you safe because that person can't really, they can hurt you. They can, but they can't really, you're not in commitment with them. And so it's not the same. And it's like limerent, right? It's limerent because it's like you're spending more time with that person, the little version of that person that's in your head, than you are actually with the person. So it's creating a situation where you're dealing in your head, you're making up this whole relationship in your head, and it's all, you're having conversations, you're feeling like you're loved or you're not loved and everything like that, but it's limerent. It's not a real relationship. It's something that's created by fantasy. I feel like a lot of you are cleaning this habit up and you're leaning into something that is real. So that's why a real person can now show up. Sag, Libra, Taurus, Virgo, more Sag, Gemini, Aquarius. All right. So talk to me about this this can be an opportunity that you love. Okay. So it doesn't have to be love relationship for those of you who are sensitive to that. But I feel like a lot of you go back and watch that For Whoever last night. This is about healing those love blocks so that we can step into our lives in different ways in all areas of our life. High Priestess, Temperance, Four of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Yeah, the thing that's been holding you back from your future self, future success, future love, whatever it is a fear that you're going to recreate the past, or that you're going to be in a situation forever, or that you're never going to be able to get beyond a third party with somebody. Two of Wands, Five of Cups, Two of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. I feel like some of you have invested a lot of time with something that is limerent or something that isn't real. You may have a real connection with that person, but the relationship piece of it, where you actually go on dates and you live together, or you get married, or you whatever expression that you want, you spend more time with that person in person rather than in your head. When you're all in your head about a relationship and it doesn't materialize in the physical 3D sense, it can be seen as, I'm working things through of my own, in my own mind, I'm working things through of my own issues. I feel like some of you are walking away from this now. We're like, no, not even saying like, I'm ready for a real relationship. Not even saying that. It's just sort of like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is for the birds. This is not, it's not something I feel like there's enough of you who have done some work, done the work on yourself, cleaned it up. That's not a thing. It can't stay. It can't stay. Queen of Swords, Three of Swords, Death, Eight of Cups. Really sick of the lying, sick of the lying, sick of the third party, sick of the non-existent in person. Like, I'm ready for a person in person. I'm ready for a career in person. I'm ready for money to flow. I'm ready to be dealing with money in a very healthy, constructive way. I'm sick of these old patterns. I'm sick of them. Okay. So there's just this sense of like, I see the things that make me unhappy, and it's all about resistance to something. Some of you are resisting being happy or resisting having positive things in your life, because then that's a real person in front of you. Then you're going to have to deal with it, deal with them, deal with it. Some of you are, believe it or not, some of you are resisting money because of old patterns in your life, the Nine of Wands. And I just feel like the Seven of Swords showing up, you're like, okay, King of Swords, Ace of Cups, I'm ready to move forward. It's possible that someone does show up and you have an opportunity here. And you see the old patterns that have really held you back. Eight of Cups, moving on. I want to have a real life. I'm going to continue this reading if this is for you. Let's keep going. Pathfinders, you know, let's just keep moving. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.